This video is in response to a comment I received on one of my previous videos talking about band training. So thank you for the comment, Samuel Bass 4117 or something like that. I actually dated a girl with the last name Bass. Perfect girl. Well, I screwed that up, all right, like I tend to do. But anyways, we're not here to talk about that. We're talking about band training today. So first off, I want to say, like I did in my last training video, bands are not the most effective tool. So if you have to use bands, it's going to be tough. With legs, I'm going to show you just a few things that I've done in the past, and again, talk a little bit more about how to use bands effectively. But again, you're very, very limited using bands. You can get away with doing a lot of stuff with body weight, squats, doing like a wall sit where you're just pushing yourself up against the wall. That would be something, you know, for effective leg training. Calf training where you're just doing, you know, coming up and down off a step, doing calf raises, and then going to single leg when you get strong enough. So basic stuff with body weight tends to be very, very effective. But there are some exercises that I've done in the past that match the strength curve with the band. So that's one of the things that I talked about in the last video. If you haven't watched it, go and check it out. But the strength curve doesn't necessarily always match when I'm using the band. So let's take a band here, and let's just say I put it around my back and I want to do a push-up, okay? Well, when I come down, all right, or this one on the push-up, it kind of matches the strength curve because I'm the weakest down here and I'm strongest up here. But I guess some people might not necessarily be as strong if they don't have as strong triceps. But the band is going to basically dominate the tricep part of the movement. So it's not matching necessarily with, let's just say, a chest press or something like that, where you want the resistance to be a little bit more consistent so that when I'm at the bottom, I'm getting good work with the chest. But with something like a squat, the band works great because the band, as it stretches, it gets harder, right? The more length the band has, the harder the more tension there is. So if I use a band on a squat, and I'll show you how I've used it before just because this is probably the most comfortable way, I guess. I've done it where I've put it over the back of my neck. That's not very comfortable, but I use a kettlebell. So let's see if I can get in frame here. I don't know how well this is, but what you do is you take a kettlebell, and what's good about a kettlebell is it has a hole through it. So I take this, slide it through, okay? Now, the tough part is getting in position. So you might need a partner to help you out. But what you do is you slide one foot under. So it's got to be in a place in the middle of the foot. That's where I would suggest it, right in that arch. Step your other foot through on the other side. Okay. Get it to where it's somewhat even. And then you're going to pick the kettlebell up on the other side. So again, getting up is the hardest part. And then you might want to move down in the middle. But now I'm here. So this motion right here is the easiest part of the squat. But as I get down, this is the hardest. So the band is at its least tense here, there's most slack, and as I drive up, it gets harder. So it matches when I'm doing a movement. The hard part of the exercise is when I'm at that bottom of the motion. As I come up, that's easy, so I get a little bit more tension. So that's one way of doing it. Loop it through the band, loop the band through the kettlebell, stand on either side of the kettlebell or either side of the band, and then that will allow you to get a little bit of tension. Next one, I'm gonna grab this band here. I don't know if you can see it, it's a little bit tough in this range. Try to pull across here, but these are called TKEs, all right? Total knee extension, I think that's what they're called, what it stands for. But again, not the most effective thing, but this is gonna kind of mimic a leg extension in reverse. So I'm here, I start with the bent knee, and then I extend the leg straight. So I'm here, bent knee, and then I extend the leg straight. So the band is pulling my knee that way. As I straighten out the knee and I lock my leg out and squeeze my quad is gonna be doing work. There's more tension on the band as I extend. So bending and extending. So not too much that you can do with bands. With that, even that one, if you don't have something to support yourself with, like I would maybe be able to use this guy if I wanted to do that exercise to hold me in position. But if not, and I'm getting a lot of tension, and I really want to work that muscle, it's not very effective, okay? Because again, you want to try to be in as stable a position as you can so that you can really stress the target muscle. I would say for leg training, you can do body weight squats, doing them super slow. You can do the band training with that as well. Again, if you want to switch things up, just do some squats and then go right to a wall sit, and that'll burn you out and that'll kill you, right? And really push into the wall with your toes, and you'll even get your calves working as well. So, that's something that you can do. You can tie the band to something, lie on your stomach. So I could come forward, lie on my stomach, attach it to my ankle. And so I'm here, and then I'm pulling my heel to my butt. And that would be like a hamstring curl. But again, if the band is in one position and my leg is going from, let's just say this is my leg, here's my hamstring, here's my foot, and I'm pulling like this, okay? At one point my foot, if I'm on the ground, it's gonna be here, down here. As I pull up, it's gonna be here, okay? And then, as it comes back, I'm not gonna be able to touch my butt all the way. But the angle as it goes with bands, it's tough because as the angle changes, the line of pull on wherever it's attached to at your ankle, let's just say, is going to change. So the resistance will change with it. So again, they're not the greatest tool to use for strength training. If you can get to a gym and get on a hamstring curl machine, lying down or seated, and then maybe use them in combination, a leg extension machine. Those are going to isolate your quads. Those are going to isolate your hamstrings, to get that work in. A leg press machine, or doing squats, doing squats with a barbell, very technical lift, very dangerous. So even just doing bodyweight squats, or again, like I said, using a leg press machine. But if you are using bands, I suggest using the kettlebell version. You could always just hold on to the band here. So that's another modification, I guess. I could just hold on to it, step in, step over, okay? Get it to where it's somewhat even. Okay, pick it up and just hold on to it here, coming down, coming up. I could put it over my neck. I've done that before, but it's not very comfortable. So again, you gotta find what you can get away with, but I like the kettlebell version. That way I've got one weight, the kettlebell, that allows for consistent weight as I come up and down the whole time. So it's the same weight at the bottom as it is at the top. And then I'm just getting a little bit extra challenge for my hips, and kind of that finishing motion of the quads as I really straighten out and squeeze my butt and lock the legs. So there's different things that you can do, but really what you should be focusing on for overall training is what's the target muscle group, what am I trying to accomplish, and let's stress that muscle in the most effective way possible. So a lot of times bands can't do that as effectively, so find, again, the few things that you can do and just try to go all out with them. Again, I made the band training video, so refer back to that one to understand a little bit more about bands, a little bit more about the strength curve, and a little bit more about how to use those. But really, there's not too much you can do with your legs, so sorry I couldn't come through with more, but that's one exercise I've used in the past. A lot of people use the TKE, that one that I showed you with just extending the knee, straightening out, putting the band on the back of your knee. That's like, post-rehab. So people that are trying to get their knee to straighten out all the way again, because they had some surgery, they had something and they can't extend it all the way. So if you're having trouble straightening your knee, that could be something that you can use it for. But again, the amount of band tension that you're gonna be able to need to stress the quad muscles is going to be nuts. And by that time, like I said, if you're not stabilizing yourself against something, that the band is going to be pulling you through the wall because your body weight isn't enough to hold you in place to do the exercise to sufficient enough fatigue. So again, bands are limited, but I hope that helped. I hope you can get a little bit more out of your band training, maybe doing some squats with it, maybe doing some of the TKEs, or maybe doing some hamstring curls. But I would say either do the squats or just say, screw the band. I'm going to do regular squats. I'm going to do wall sits, and I'm going to fatigue myself by going hard on those. Again, hopefully this helps. Thank you for the comment. And until next time, I'll see you then.